Okay guys, because after, calmer minds reviewed the information and tried to troubleshoot what could be causing this horrendous roaring, rattling noise that this thing is making, it only makes sense that this has to be related to the 8/8 swap. More specifically, when I replaced the pinion seal and that weird like voodoo thing Ford does with their Ford pinion torque, why couldn't they just say, hey, torque this thing to 160 foot-pounds, check your rotational resistance, tighten as needed, let's do something logical. Well, they can't do that. They just got to tell you, well, we only want it to have 8 inch-pounds of resistance with no axles in it. Which is like, what? Why? Okay, if I'm going to change a pinion seal, where all you have to do is take that nut off, change the seal, put everything back on, and tighten it back up, why on earth would you have to drop the fluid out of the differential, pull the axles out, to set your pinion load? I mean, that right there is retarded. So, basically, because I didn't have any real information, we were just going by the just impacted on, and it normally works fine, which I hated to begin with, and I agreed with a lot of the comments that we got on that video where I discussed the whole put the nut back on, impact it down, and send it down the road. I actually did try to impact it a little bit more while it was on the sawhorses in the garage, put my beam style torque wrench on there, which isn't really designed to register under 10, I think, inch-pounds, but I did do a rotational test on it, and it seemed to be fine. However, we have a huge issue right now where it is not drivable, or you could drive it, but it literally sounds like something between the transmission and the rear end could literally explode at any time. So, alright, so we're going to start this video out. I'm going to try to get under there, get the drive shaft pulled loose. I've got it up on jack stands. I'm going to just impact it with my new 1/2 inch impact, put it all back together and see if it gets any better or any worse. It really sounds like it could be too light of a preload on the pinion nut or pinion crush washer, sleeve, whatever they want to call it. So hold up just a second, see what we can find out. A little bit of information I want to add in before I get back under the vehicle. Through my research online, the noise that I'm hearing is most likely pinion bearing preload, and or could be related to damaged spider gears. Okay, got the drive shaft dropped. It's sitting there on the ground. Got everything secured on jack stands and a jack so I don't get crusted. I'm going to get under here with my new 1/2 inch earthquake impact I picked up from Harbor Freight, and we're going to see if that nut will tighten a little bit more. And I think what I'll do is go ahead and mark the threads on that pinion just to see, because I may not be able to visually tell if that nut tightens at all, but if I put a little bit of a marking compound on those threads, hopefully it'll give me a visual representation if this thing tightens at all, or takes up some of that crush or whatever. Okay, a little bit out of breath from jumping up and down, climbing underneath the car. Couldn't get my paint pen to work. Couldn't find my metal marking chalk. I took just a little bit of white spray paint and just kind of hit the pinion nut and pinion threads so that I could see if that nut tightened up at all, or made any marked change or improvement, because it literally, when you turn it with your hand, you can feel it just kind of going clunk, clunk, clunk. Okay guys, I decided to battle the wind, climb under here so you could see. Guys, I got underneath here. The wind isn't near as bad when you're up in between the mufflers, but I can show you where I sprayed that pinion with white paint, hit it with the impact. I gave her everything she had, and I don't see any exposed thread, part of a thread. I don't know that that pinion nut moved at all. So, but when you grab that companion flange there, hey guys, I got you guys propped up on a little seat here. Hopefully I can sneak under here and you guys can both see and hear the issues I'm having with this pinion companion flange. So check this out. You get it to move, clunk, clunk, clunk. It literally will move and then it'll clunk, clunk. Oh, like you can feel inside of there something is clunking around, and every once in a while it literally, like right there, it acts like it's, I don't know if it's skipping over something. Right there's a groove feeling like tick 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 tick. There's two little clicks. There was a big slip. There's a big slip before it grabbed. So I don't know what's going on, but she is not happy. She does not seem happy. There's definitely something going on inside that there pumpkin. Okay guys, I don't know for sure how much slop or play you're supposed to have in your spider gears. I'm hoping you guys get a little bit closer here. But watch this. Can you see that tire moving? Watch this. Watch. And you can watch that thing literally just wallering around in there. Especially that. See if I can get a better angle on that. See those two spider gears, how they match? We will videotape the pinion gear, see if we see anything we don't like. Maybe I'll be able to see it better when I edit the video. I didn't see any initially. I didn't see any busted teeth or anything. So it really leads me to believe the problem is inside those stupid spider gears. That's the most likely suspect, is spider gears or something. Okay guys, here's the rundown of where I'm at so far. Whew. Alright, we already did the video showing what I'm considering to be excessive play in the spider gears, and that could be a combination of that little S-clip in there. Clutch packs could be just smoked, causing a lot of excess clearance. I don't know that much about the insides of those track locks and how they work or how they're supposed to look, but I have an extra 31 spline track lock sitting right in here on my workbench, and you can't move those spider gears. They have no slop at all, zero. You cannot move them at all with your fingers. So then I'm thinking, okay, first step as far as correcting the rear end situation is I'll go ahead and pull that other third member out and check all the bearings, check everything as far as the installation, because both the ring and pinion look fine to me, and I don't think that there's any damage to either one of them. But once I take the actual carrier assembly out of the housing, then I can spin that pinion and see if I still feel any kind of issue with that bearing, because there's no movement. There's no up, down, in, out, left, right. There is no slop in the, I guess you'd call it the companion flange on the rear end itself. I don't feel anything out of the ordinary, and as far as that's concerned. So basically at this point, I've got the differential fluid dropped out, looked at it, Remember, we tightened the pinion nut as far as we could, and it didn't make any difference. So, in trying to get something done today, because the sun's starting to go down, it's starting to get kind of cold, I have pulled the drive shaft the rest of the way out of the back of the transmission. Got a pan under there just in case anything comes out of it. I'm getting ready to start the vehicle to run the engine and transmission separate from the rear end and see if I hear any of those, anything similar to the noises I was experiencing since the 8.8 swap. So you guys cycle this thing real quick. The old 4.8 fires right up. She's been sat in a while. You can see right now we are in neutral. So generally what I would do to check it is I would put it in second gear and just slowly let out on the clutch. See if we hear anything. Power steering pump's humming. Now keep in mind, there's no load on the back of the output shaft, okay? So keep in mind, there's no load on the output shaft of the T5 because I removed the drive shaft to, you know, disconnect it from the rear end. But I just wanted to see if putting it in gear and running the internals of this transmission would cause any kind of... It's absolutely quiet, guys. I don't hear anything other than that stupid power steering pump starting to whine, which absolutely irritates the crap out of me because I've already warrantied it twice. You know, at this point, that stupid power steering pump might bite the dust. If I find a decent deal on a manual gearbox, I'll throw a manual gearbox on here and a shorter belt, and that thing can go in the trash. Because I don't know why those 2,000 power steering pumps keep having issues with my stupid gearbox. But at this point, I'd rather just get rid of the headache and just have a manual gearbox on it, so I don't have to listen to that thing or jack with it. So there's my update so far. I feel fairly confident that all that noise and it was all in the differential. Literally, there's no noise at all coming from this transmission. Literally, you can hear the motor. There's nothing underneath the car making any noise, whether it's in neutral. Let's see if we can get it in gear here. Get a little closer so you guys can hear. Yeah, I don't hear anything. Nothing at all. I don't know. There's my update on the Blazer. Somehow I bought a lemon of an 8.8 diff from the salvage guy. You roll the dice. You buy a used part. You know, I did fix the seals on it because I wanted to make sure I didn't have any leaks. Little did I know that I was getting a differential that wasn't in good working order. So, you know, I was really worried about that stupid pinion nut not being tight enough, but clearly that's not the problem. So I'll do more work and do more updating hopefully tomorrow, weather permitting, and I'll post up some more videos. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for supporting the channel and supporting me in my endeavors to try to fix stuff that I don't even know if it's worth fixing anymore. So anyway, thanks again.